Hello and welcome to LinkedIn Local DFW. I am so excited to share today's session with our guest, Colleen Rickenbacher. Just as a brief aside, my name is Rochelle Delia. I'm the founder of Wealth Axel, and I'm here joined with Tanner.
Hello, I'm Tanner Weilman. I am helping relaunch this LinkedIn DFW program with Rochelle, and I'm also excited about our guest today.
Absolutely. So our guest today is Colleen Rickenbacher. Colleen, please introduce yourself, and we're so excited to share a little bit of a few minutes with you today.
Thank you very much. I'm Colleen Rickenbacher. My company name is Global Protocol Etiquette and Civility. But at this particular time, I'm a contractor for FIFA to do their training for all the different facilities and people within the North Texas area.
Excellent. And Colleen and I met at one of her lectures that she gave around the city, really upskilling business owners about what they should consider when it comes to FIFA. So, Colleen, I'd love it if you would chat with us just a little bit, since you do have the contract with FIFA for now. Tell us a little bit about, from your perspective, what is it that business owners should be keeping top of mind? Because certainly this is a global stage that we'll be on within the next 30 days or less.
Yeah, exactly. It's closer than we all think. I just think everybody needs to be prepared that there are going to be thousands and thousands of people coming into our city every single day over the 39 span of FIFA. And it just not starts in Dallas. Starts in the very beginning in other locations. There's 16 different locations. There's 104 matches going on. And so I think for all of you to be very aware, especially if you have any type of business that might relate to any of this. There's signage and information available at Visit Dallas and also at the FIFA offices where you can get it if you want to post some signs on your windows or do some other information to be actually inviting our international and domestic guests into your business. And basically, what you need to be prepared for, we anticipate 100,000 people to be within the city every single day that there's a match. And even when there's not a match, because we'll have activities happening at Fan Festival out at Fair Park, and we anticipate 3 million plus will be attending all of that. And so you can be involved in everything you want for FIFA or just anything that you select. But just being noticeable, being there, being active, that the people will see you. And it just doesn't stop with FIFA for 2026. We have PGA next year. We're bidding on the women's FIFA games for 3031 and the everything the sports department, with everything they do, they're bidding constantly every single year. So this is something you want to be involved with, something that's ongoing, something you can expose your companies to, and something that definitely could help your companies. And so I think all that would be very, very helpful for you.
I imagine so. Colleen, thank you for coming again. We really appreciate it. I'm curious about some of the specific events that are going to be here specifically related to FIFA. Like you said, there's millions of people, millions of dollars that are coming into the area. What are some of the particulars when it comes to events and things outside of just the matches?
We have the biggest, which will be the biggest event, will be the Fan Festival in Fair Park, and that'll go on for 39 days. But not every day will be have activities because there's 5 days that are dark days because there's no matches going on either in the United States, Mexico, or Canada. And so you can find social media and FIFA's website, and they can tell you exactly what time that all happens. That is the largest. Clyde Warren Park is going to have many, many activities probably every single day. Each city, I know Plano a couple days before it all starts, they're having a pep rally for the Japanese people coming here. And they said it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Fort Worth is doing a lot of activities. Arlington's doing activities. Almost every single city has something going on showcasing their city. And it's very important that you go maybe to the website of whatever the visit it is. Visit Garland, visit Frisco, visit, Discover Denton, and you will see every single activity that's happening there. And they're all going to be big. It's not that these are small things. The other things too that a lot of the teams that are coming have marches, and which means they would march from downtown, like from Arlington to the stadium, or if it's in another city, they'll just do marches around that city, which might involve your business, and if they pass your business, and so you want to have signs in your windows, you want to have different people standing outside. And we're not just talking hundreds of people, we're talking thousands. And so it involves, and if it happens to be any restaurants, my biggest concern about that is the hours, because we in the United States eat earlier, much earlier, like 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night for our dinners, where other countries eat 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock for their dinners. And I'm just very concerned that our restaurants aren't thinking about this and not going to be staying open that amount of time. Now, there may be bars that are open and maybe they are serving food, but we need to keep restaurants open, especially 24-hour fast food restaurants where people can go all day, all night long.
Absolutely. I think that you brought such these are comments that I remember you mentioning in the talk that I saw live. And, even though I've traveled to lots of different countries, it didn't immediately occur to me that, in Dallas, you basically have to make your dinner decision by 7:15, right? Like there really isn't much
Yes,
open after
yes,
9 p.m. on an
exactly.
average Tuesday afternoon. Like
I
it,
know.
it honestly is. And
I
so
know.
from a business owner perspective, people are going to have, let's call them frontline employees. So certainly from a restaurant standpoint, but I'm just thinking even from a logistics standpoint, there are many of different industries that, the business owner really needs to think about how can they, I'm going to use the word upskill their front office or client facing or customer facing staff members. So I'd love if you would comment a little bit more about some of the things that we may not immediately think about. I know hand gestures were one of the ones that you touched on during the conversation that I heard. But I think those sort of conversations are things to highlight would be pretty helpful as people are preparing.
Okay. There's a lot of the United States and other countries have many, many differences. And like Rochelle was just saying about our hand gestures, I unfortunately use my hands a lot, which is not respected in Asian countries. They don't like things facing, in front of their face. And in other sign. We use, everything there. And it's just as I mentioned in all my sessions, I just say, please just keep your hands at your side for 39 days and just nod to the people. Because a lot of our signs that we do on a regular basis are very disrespectful in other countries. Even as far as flowers go, numbers go, everything, many more superstitions than we ever thought of having in the United States. To go take it even further, if they ask you directions or if they ask how to get from one place to another, we use miles, they use kilometers. So in my classes, I teach how to change from mileage to kilometers, which is pretty simple. You just take the miles plus or times 1.6 and you will get the kilometers. So if it's 5 miles, you take it times 1.6 and you'll get your kilometers from that, which would be 8. And so our conversion of time is different. We use a regular civilian clock. Everybody in other countries uses a military time. So when we say 9 o'clock to them, they're thinking just morning. They're not thinking 9 o'clock at night. So we have to make sure that when it gets noon, that we change our time for 39 days. And all you have to do for the whole clock is add 12 hours to it. So if it's 1 o'clock, add 12 and you're going to get 1300 hours. And that goes the whole way around the clock to 24 hours, which is midnight. And that would be 2400 hours or 12 o'clock midnight, or to them, 0000 or 2400 hours. And then we have our weather, which we do everything in Fahrenheit. They do everything in Celsius. And so again, we have the changes that we have to make to that, which you can easily find online. And I do the training where I teach everybody how to change from Fahrenheit to Celsius, then Celsius back again. And the last big conversion that we have are the dates. Our date, like today, would be the 15th of May. But we put it in writing May 15th, 2026, with a comma after the 15. They always put the day first and then the month second and then the year third. So, I mean, right now, 15, we would figure that out. But if it's all lower, under 10 numbers, we don't know if they're talking about the month, they're talking about the day, whichever the case may be. So there's many, many, many differences. Another challenge is their driving. If they choose to get a car here, that could be very a lot of different things go into that. And so we're hoping that they take all of our rail services in each one of the cities. They take the DART, they take shuttles, they take motor coaches, everything that's available for them. Again, because they drive on a lot of them drive on the opposite side of the road than we do. Some may not be able to understand our directions, the signs, they're, reading our signs. They're not accustomed to stop signs or stop lights because most countries have roundabouts. And it just goes on and on and on, the many, many differences. And so we have to help these people with all of these different things. If they have a question, please, please, please answer them. And if you have a problem with the difficulty, if they're not speaking good English, then use your phone for being a translator to them. Ask the question in your phone and then just ask them what the problem may be that they need. And they'll come back with their phone and tell you exactly in their language, transferring it to English to tell you what they may need. And there's a lot.
Yeah, those are great cultural considerations whenever you're getting all these international um, people coming into the DFW area. So I appreciate you sharing some of those. What I know specifically that tipping is not a thing that is happens in other countries when it comes to restaurants and things. What other like commercial or individual um, behaviors when it comes to consumers are worth considering? I love the temperature. I'm a big fan of military time, so I like that. Is there any other kind of um, considerations for individual consumers that you would encourage people to think about?
Well, we'll just go back to the tipping for a moment. Some countries do not tip at all because their wages are fine. And then other countries tip very low, maybe 10%, 15%. And now in the United States, we're almost tipping for everything. I mean, they turn a little screen around and they ask you to tip for something like that. So be very prepared if they tip very low or not at all. It's not disrespect for the service that you're providing. It's just the way that's their culture and that's the way they are. But they know that the United States does tip. And so that I'm sure they'll try very much to do it that way. And directions and things like that, they're going to need directions, how to get to shuttles, how to get to transportation, how to get to DART, how to get to the rail service, whichever country or whichever city they may be in. And so there's so many different things. But the most important thing is if you are serving someone, if you're in contact with them, I know it can be frustrating because you can't understand their language. Please, please, please try to smile, make them feel comfortable, make them feel welcome. And it's fun. Try to speak in their language. I provide 20 to 25 phrases in each of the countries that are coming here, and then plus 25 to 25 languages in the official FIFA languages. And so these will all be provided, to you at the session. But again, just to say thank you, you're welcome. Hello, how are you feeling today? How are you doing? In their language means everything to them. And so just trying to offer your service to them, maybe in their language a little bit, and showing the kindness that everybody has in North Texas. And that's, I think, is the best thing that we can possibly try to do.
No, those are great comments. And, like you said, just trying to say hello in their late native language, not just hola. Obviously, we'll probably get some folks on the other side of the border. But, just trying, even if you butcher their language, just the effort is typically really, really well received.
It doesn't
Um,
matter. Yes. Uh-huh.
Absolutely. One of the things that I was thinking of as you're just and in your comments there is, it's very easy to think about, let's say, the normal types of businesses or categories that should participate in FIFA. So you have your restaurants, hospitality, transportation. But let's say I'm in a different category where, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to have more traffic, but I don't necessarily see how it would impact my business. I would just love your perspective, if you have any, what are some categories where business owners may think this isn't going to apply to me, but it will? Or
It
like, is
will.
anybody safe?
Yeah,
And just
it
and
will.
kind of open the mindset a little bit where, okay, I don't own a restaurant. I'm not a hotelier. Like, who else should really pay attention to this and not just, I'm going to check the traffic report when I'm getting my morning coffee. What else should I consider?
The
Um,
other, the other biggest thing is shopping. These people come here to shop. They want, obviously, they want souvenirs, so that would be nice. But when they come, they leave with bags of clothes. They leave with bags of different things from the United States. And so this will, impact anybody that is shopping or boots or cowboy hats or, just nice dresses or nice, clothes. Because I know even when I go to another country, I want to buy something from them. I want to buy a nice dress. I want to buy a pair of shoes. I want to buy something nice. Or in some countries, I want them to make it for me because that's what they're known for. They will do the same thing here. They won't expect you to make it for them. But since we have so much shopping available for them, I think that would be the number one thing that they're going to be looking for different places where they can go shopping. They even do that without FIFA being here. They hit all the mini shops. They do all the, specialty shops. They'll do the malls. They'll do everything else that goes with it. And so that's one of the main things that they will do. They want to see attractions. They want to come to attractions. They want to go to different sites. They want to go. A lot of people still think we're cowboys and Indians, and that we wear hats and the boots and the whole thing. Let them think it. Let them to go home with a pair of boots or something. But that's what they want to do, and they just want to take everything in. Other thing too, when we go, we take very short vacations, usually normally for US, and maybe like 1 week or at the most 2 weeks, we'll go somewhere. These people will spend months. They'll go months, they'll go a month and a half, and they want to see everything they possibly can. So anything they can touch or see, be it an attraction, be it a shop, be it a restaurant, be it, just a historic marker or something, they're going to try to go to one of those places. And we're providing all that information for them.
Um, well, you talked specifically about wanting to buy things, souvenirs and individual trinkets and things like that. Um, I'm curious because I know there are some areas that very much do and some that very much don't um, open up haggling when it comes to prices. Is that a
Oh.
thing that people should anticipate the international customers being comfortable with, or is that something that they know that isn't necessarily common here?
They know pretty
What's
much,
that
yeah.
custom?
I mean, we do it when we go to their countries, and we're told beforehand, no, you can't bargain here. This is the price, or yes, bargain with them there. And it's more like farmers markets type things where they will do that. If you go into a store and it's like a mall or something like that, they will not bargain there, but they try. They will try. But just the people just have to say, this is our set price. This is what we have to pay. But let me tell you one more thing that helps a little bit. Texas is the only state that has tax-free shopping. And there's different locations where they can do this. There's 250 stores within all of Texas where they can go. And so, but just in Dallas, Fort Worth, or North Texas area, there's 5 different locations, which is North Park. They say it's by Dillard's. I'm going to get to all these places. There's one at Grapevine. There's one at I'm trying to think of all Galleria. And so I can, easily put all this up later and tell everybody where they are. But you can find them. And so all you have to do is take your purchases there with your receipt, and you have to spend at least $12, 12 US dollars. And then they will take anything that you paid for taxes, and you'll get it right back again for the international travelers. And what they'll do, they'll give it to you in cash, or they'll give it to you in PayPal. 99% of the visitors, foreign visitors, will take it in cash, and then they'll turn around and go back again and buy other stuff. And then they'll come back and just kind of like a recycle kind of thing. But just please remind them of that they can take and get this money, their taxes back for what they just purchased in these different areas.
Oh, that's excellent. I didn't even know that. I'm learning so much. And I think this will be my last question. And Tanner, if you have more, we can keep going. But Tanner and I are both in the financial services side. I do business advisory, where I help businesses grow profitably, and that includes everything from their personal to their business planning. And so FIFA's coming. This is a great opportunity. So I'm just curious from your perspective, what are some, let's say, more financial considerations that business owners may not be taking into account? Just from our conversation, I'm thinking, okay, restaurants, I may need to order more cups, like I need to get my inventory up
Yeah,
or buy some
yeah,
extra simple syrup. I don't
yeah.
know. But I'm just kind of curious, so we talked about taxes from the consumer standpoint,
Uh-huh.
planning for more people, but you've been in this world, and you worked at Visit Dallas for, what was it, 30 years?
20
So
years. But
this
I
is,
still go back to them. So
you're no spring chicken when it comes to really understanding how to right size your business for visitation. So, with all your experience, I'm really curious, what sort of financial considerations may business owners that may they not be thinking of, that it would be especially prudent for them to right size, as we are let's say T minus 30 days away
Not
from the
exactly.
first
Oh, I
event.
know. Scary. I just
Hmm.
think there's two sides of the people that come here. The wealthy, because it costs a lot for people to travel here. It costs a lot for the tickets for airlines, and it definitely costs a lot now for the hotels. And most importantly, it costs a lot for the tickets. Let me just say one thing about the tickets. The reason the tickets prices are so high here is because we have the prime games here. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it's good, but the tickets are higher. You can go to another city where the teams aren't as good. We have four of our teams in the top 10. They're going to be playing here. And then we have six of our teams that are here in the top 25. And that then it only increases because there's rounds of 32, rounds of 16, and then the semifinals here. So we are getting the best of the teams of the world. And with that, will come many, many people that do have a lot of money. And so they will be spending money here in all of our cities, no matter where it is, they will be spending money here. And then, but then you have the opposite side where people, they're spending everything they possibly can to get here, like selling their houses, selling their cars, selling everything else. But they're still here. They're going to enjoy it, and they're going to enjoy everything about it. As I said, with the shopping, with the touristy type things, and everything else that we have available. As far as individual things, for like finance and all that, I just think that everybody needs to be prepared. Like I mentioned, there's 100,000 people we anticipate to be here every single day, and they're going to be walking around. They're going to be interested in things. They're going to walk in, to your stores, to your windows, to your hotels, to everything else that's available to them, and they will be spending money. They will. We always see that whenever, not even FIFA, just when international people come in. And just as a side, we have so many international people that live here permanently in the Fort Worth, Dallas area and all of North Texas. And so they are telling other people, where to go, what to buy, how to help them, and, all those types of things. I truly think it's going to be hard not to be touched with this whole FIFA coming here for 39 days. It's going to affect every single business.
I bet this is a huge event. It's a worldwide event, so it's
Yeah,
exciting.
it's the largest sporting event in the world. And plus, this year happens to be the largest FIFA event. And this is the first time it ever involved three different countries.
Yeah. Wow. Well, let me ask one more question as a wrap up, and that is, well, let me ask a two-parted question. First of all,
Okay.
communication is always the biggest challenge when you've got people who don't speak our language. Is there a particular app or way of using your phone that you prefer? Do you just use whatever AI assistant you have on your phone? Do you use ChatGPT? Do you have a recommendation for that? And then
I would say Google. I would go with
Google.
Google. I think that's the
Okay.
most universal for everybody. And
Okay.
then hopefully come back with something with that. But I would do that. And also, if you do the training, which I hope you all do, I give you a list of every translator, every form of translation that you can possibly use. But I would say Google would be the best one to use. That's
Okay.
the most common one.
And
And
the,
also, there's also in there for like American Sign Language. There's Braille. There's mobility. I mean, there's all kinds of things that anybody may need for other countries.
Fantastic. And then last question is just, is there a hub or a website or a particular place that we should go to look for these schedules for events and things like that where everything is kind of
Yes.
centralized? Where would we
Number
look?
one would be the FIFA website, and I'm going to give it to you right now.
Thank you.
Um, well, I was going to give it to you right now. I thought I wrote it down, and I'm going to give you the second one. I'll get the FIFA one to you in a second. It's the Hantex, which is the Hotel Association of North Texas. All they're basically going to have is information on the programs, and they're going to have um, information on the different sessions that are going on that people, if they can't attend yours, maybe attend another one or something like that. But their website will carry all the different updates on everything, and they'll have a QR code to go in and look for different things there. And if they just go to FIFA website, it's so easy for them just to pick it up. And I don't want to say it wrong, but it's like FIFA World Cup, something like that. There's every bit of information there. All they have to put in is just FIFA World Cup, and now they'll bring up, and they can go there. Everything is listed on that website, and it's very important because things will change every single day. Maybe Clyde Warren Park's not going to be open, which won't be on the FIFA website. You need to go to Clyde Warren for that. But the fan festival at Fair Park may be a dark day because there's no no matches anywhere. And they usually try to start the fan festival an hour before the match is going to start until a match is over. So there'll be 96 of the 104 matches shown at Fair Park. So it's going to be great. But if you could go to those two websites, the FIFA one or Hantex one, or Visit Dallas. Visit Dallas also is keeping everything up to date with what's going on with FIFA.
Absolutely. I think thank you so much for sharing that information. I did want to give you a brief chance to chat a little bit more about the certificate program. So
Okay.
just for everyone's edification, in addition to Colleen speaking at the LinkedIn Local DFW, which I'll chat about in just a moment, she's also the front runner, spearhead, chief cook, and speaker of the North Texas FIFA World Cup. They have the organizing committee is sponsoring a hospitality certificate program, and I had the pleasure of going through that, which is where Colleen and I met. So feel free to share a couple of comments because this is available to all business owners, and
Yes.
even if they're not able to attend our event, I certainly want to share the word and the wealth about this incredible educational program that's available to everyone.
Thank you very much. If you go to, again, the FIFA website or the Hantex website, you're going to find, especially the FIFA one, because you can even register there. But if not, in Hantex, you're just going to see what it is, and you have to go to that particular place to register. And why you have to register, because when it's all done, I speak for 90 minutes, a little bit less than 90 minutes. You will receive a certificate with your name on it. And then you'll also get 1.5 CEUs, continuing education units, that you can use for hospitality, you can use college, whatever you may need them for. Some offices even ask you to do like extra training. So this fits that bill for everything. But the most important part is you'll get a QR code. And what the QR code will cover is almost 300 pages. And you pick and choose. All you have to do is go to the front table of contents. You can click on whatever area you want to go to. It'll take you there and you can learn about each one. I wholeheartedly hope that you go through the whole thing so you can see what's missing. But in the resource guide, it's everything. It's about North Texas. It's about all the schedules of the games, not just here in Dallas, but all over the world. It'll give you every single day where they're playing, what time they're playing, what teams so far have been, scheduled for there, and it'll keep changing, as the teams go on. And then as I mentioned before, all the translators will be there, and it just covers every single thing you need. And as I mentioned before, the different languages that are be provided for you in English and phonetically. And there's every bit of information that you could possibly want about FIFA or about North Texas. The second part of the QR code is the showcasing North Texas cities. And that's 15 different cities in North Texas, the main 15, the largest 15 cities in North Texas. And they provide you everything with their restaurants, with their which is another important thing. They're banks, because people will come here. A lot of Europeans or a lot of just countries do not have credit cards. And so they need to go to our international banks where they can pick up, change their currency to get US currency. And then we also have places of worship where they can go to church at their own church, because I listed all the countries that have, churches here in the United States in North Texas. And so it's just that type of information that you'll be obtaining if you come to one of these sessions. And it's very, very much worthwhile to, get the credits, to get your certificate, but more importantly, all the information that we all feel that has been very helpful so far to everybody to understand FIFA a little bit better, and then to understand even our North Texas cities a lot better.
Absolutely. And I think you may have neglected to share one of the most important parts is that it is complimentary. It is free of charge
Oh,
to attend. So, business owners, we're
it's
always doing
free.
the back end ROI. So the ROI is 1,000,000%, right?
I've
uh,
neglected to say, two things I neglected to say. The service is, to come to that certificate program, it's free. And you might even have some coffee and tea and some snacks. And then also the fan festival and Clyde Warren Park are also free. And so you don't want to miss any of those activities.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Colleen, for
Mhm.
taking the time to join us today. I know Tanner and I are so grateful for your time today and also that you'll be joining us at the end of the month. I do just want to take a brief moment. So, the LinkedIn Local DFW event will be May 26th. So that's a Tuesday. It will be early afternoon between 1 and 3 p.m. And the event will be open networking, and you will have the opportunity to listen in to Colleen's comments. It'll be about a 30 to 45-minute commentary where she will just share even more in depth of a lot of the things that we've discussed here today. Time to network with her. And also, she will have her book, which is all about cultural competencies, available for purchase and signature. So I got a personal signature with my copy of her book. So I am so very grateful for that. Uh, Tanner, any final comments before we sign off?
Just thank you again, Colleen, and
Oh, my pleasure.
I am excited about our event and excited to get together and get prepared for this big thing that's coming to our neighborhood.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Massive, massive thing.
Yes. Well, to
About as big as it gets.
everyone that's watching, it is currently listed on Eventbrite. So feel free to register. There is no cost to attend, and we certainly look forward to seeing you there and helping us welcome Colleen and really taking advantage of the fact that the city of Dallas will be on the global stage. This is definitely a once in a business generation opportunity. So thank you again, Colleen, for your time today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you both very, very much.
Thank you.